Assalamu alaikum, how's it going? So, welcome to the Full Metal Alchemy Otaku talk show. So, this is my first time recording a video like this in like 5 months. The last time was in 2025. So, I've been streaming a lot since then. I've been recording a lot of Heaven Burns Red videos and recording, streaming, but I didn't do any talk show video for a long time. So, my voice might sound a bit weird because it's my first time talking in English in such a long while in a recording. So yeah, as always, I'm going to start with some quick self-PR talk about my sites, where I'm trying to cover interviews of otaku culture, anime stuff, game stuff, most notably niche stuff that I like, such as Spiritualism, Super Robot Wars, Heaven Burns Red, etc. And I'm trying to do articles in French, English, and Japanese. Most of the time it's articles in English, but for example, today I did an article in Japanese. So yeah, this is a ghost site with all my free articles. And then you've got the coffee, where you've got exclusive articles, exclusive translations, and summaries of streams, summaries of live streams, Japanese live streams, etc. Most probably back in January, I did a summary of the Tales of Series 30th anniversary creators talk. So if you subscribe on Coffee for $10 a month, you get to read stuff like this. And for $5 a month, you get to read some shorter and like impressions on anime, manga, etc. Some talk on otaku culture, etc. I wrote an article regarding SO Nerai and Galaxy Express 39 and Heaven Benzer and stuff a few days ago as well. So yeah, as always, I'm also very grateful to all the people watching the videos. If you can like and subscribe, it's free to help out with the algorithm and stuff. And I'm very grateful to the people subscribing as well to help me out. And maybe one day, inshallah, I'm going to make political work, otaku journalist, my main job. But anyway, so yeah, this is the usual stuff here before we get into things. So the first thing I want to talk about today is Alice at the End of Her Life, which is a side-scrolling 2D RPG, turn-based RPG, indie RPG currently in development. And I already talked about it in a previous video, and I wanted to talk a bit about it a little bit more because the developers released a few new screenshots on Steam. So you can see the turn-based battle system and how it's side-scrolling. It's inspired by some of the games by Vanillaware, etc. And it looks pretty nice, and I just wanted to talk about this. And so on Twitter as well, they've been sharing some more sette, some more UI concepts, etc. So they've been sharing some things on Twitter, and they've been sharing some UI concepts on Twitter, and they also been sharing some more sette for the characters, so some character design process and some info. So in case you want to draw some fan art of the characters, you get to know how their outfit looks like from all the angles. You get to know the colors, the different colors, etc. for people who want to do fan art or cosplay, etc. So this is something pretty cool. And also, most notably, the staff announced that they're doing a casting for the voice cast of the game. So if you do voice acting work and you would like to give it a try, you should definitely give it a try. And the applications are open until April 10th. So yeah, like this is very nice, and I just wanted to quickly go back to this game because I already talked about it. I'm gonna keep covering it, and there's still no release estimate, but like I said, the first time I talk about it, this is like an indie game, and it's a very small studio. This is their first game and a small studio, so like I'm not particularly like, it's not like I'm impatient. Like I hope they take all the time they need, and I hope they don't crunch or anything. I'm like, if you wanna support them, make sure to wishlist the game on Steam and follow the game on Steam. And for now, it seems going pretty well because I got past over 7,000. Yeah, 7,000 wishlists on Steam, which is pretty good. Like if you the biggest thing, if you want to help out indie devs, like wishlist their game, talk about their games to your friends, etc. And so yeah, it's been 3 months, a little bit more than 5 months now since the game has been announced, and I'm still really looking forward to it. And like, I'm gonna wait as long as it takes, and hopefully it's going to turn out pretty good, pretty nice, because I get the feeling it's not often that people try to make, usually people make roguelites nowadays, so I'm happy to see an actual RPG, because I really don't, I really don't like roguelites, so I'm happy to see an actual RPG as an indie game, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is, you might have seen this being announced, is that in 2026 June in Japan, there's going to be some merch sold with Silent Hill F and Bkub, or Okawa Bkub, who is the author of Pop Team Epic, right? He's mostly known outside Japan for Pop Team Epic. And Bkub has a very unique style, so he often gets collabs like this with popular merch, popular anime, popular games, etc. And so yeah, they're going to release some merch in June, and with the Kitsune Otoko. I don't know how it's called in English. I never played the game myself. I only watched some streams a little bit. I still haven't played Silent Hill F myself. So you got the protagonist, I forgot the name, and you got the Kitsune Otoko. So they're going to sell acrylic stands, some acrylic stands, yeah, and some badges, can badges, and some key holders as well. So like, it references some of the things in the game, right? For example, the Mikiri, how she's like, she like the protagonist of Silent Hill F, like it's became a meme, like how she's very strong, very athletic, and she can dodge stuff like a ninja. So you've got some key holders, acrylic key holders, acrylic keychains, etc. with the protagonist and with the Kitsune Otoko. And a bag as well, a mug cup, a mug, some towels, some charms, talisman charms, and some small nigurumi is plushies, some small plushies, right? So yeah, they're going to sell this starting in June in Japan. You have the prices here. And so yeah, Bkub is also, one reason I'm talking about this is because Bkub is also actually one of the people on Washagana TV, which is a TV channel with Mafia Kajita, who is a games journalist in Japan and who does a lot of MCs for live streams, especially for live streams of gacha games, for Chinese and Korean gacha games, Azure Lane, Blue Archive, Nikkei, etc. And with Nakamura Yuichi, which is a very popular seiyuu. Younger anime fans, they know him obviously for voicing Gojo in Jujutsu. But one of his big roles was almost 20 years ago now, when he was voicing Alto, the protagonist of Macross Frontier. So yeah, and in the past, in my old blog, I used to regularly summarize episodes of the Star Ocean radio show for the Anamnesis Star Ocean gacha game, which is how Mafia Kajita and Nakamura Yuichi got really close, and they used to talk about anything but the game, and I used to make some summaries of this back then, like over 10 years ago, on my old blog. And then this is how they ended up launching Washagana TV around like 5 years ago. And Washagana TV is actually owned by the Japanese gaming site 4Gamer, which is where Mafia Kajita initially works. So yeah, and I talk a little about this in my Echoes of Aincrad article. Like, I don't know if you've seen this, but Bandai Namco announced a new Sword Art Online game, which is called Echoes of Aincrad, and the Japanese reveal for the game was very fun, a really cool trailer, and most probably Mafia Kajita was one of the people there. There was Enako as well, there was Yasumoto Hiroki as well. So I wrote an article about it, so if you want to know a little bit more about Mafia Kajita, you should read this article. But yeah, Bkub is a very... one reason I know about Bkub and I like him a lot is because I listen to Washagana TV, and in the long run, I'd like to regularly do summaries of Washagana TV fan moments for my coffee subscribers, because I have a habit of always taking notes when watching streams, listening to Japanese streams, but I never edit and clean the notes to make them publishable for the public for subs, so I need to try to do this regularly. But anyway, another reason why I like Bkub, like everyone knows him for Pop Team Epic, but he's actually also a big fan of Prettyism and Piripara, and most notably in 2026, he was one of the people back in 2016. He was one of the people who advertised the King of Prison, the first King of Prison movie back in 2016. And Bkub is one of the many mangaka who advertised the movie, and he's one of the reasons thanks to whom the King of Prison movie back in 2016 became popular thanks to its ONJ GS screenings. And then in 2018, he even got to do an illustration in a Piripara episode in the final. It was one of the finale episode of Idle Time Piripara season 4. He got to draw this in the episode, and he was credited as an as well. So he's a big fan of Pretty series and Prettyism and Piripara, which is one of the reasons why I've been following him for a long time. So yeah, I really like Bkub, and these are pretty cool merch, so I just wanted to quickly bring it up. Inshallah, at some point I'm going to try to do Washagana TV summaries for my subs. So the next thing I really wanted to talk about this is how in 2026 it's going to be the 13th anniversary of Bokujou Monogatari, Story of Seasons, and it's also going to be the 20th anniversary of Rune Factory, which is a spin-off of Story of Seasons. So on March 18, Marvelous, the company which is developing the series, has launched a special site for the anniversary of the series. So I'm really excited for this. They made a pretty cool looking anniversary site for the 30th anniversary of Bokujou Monogatari. The first Bokujou Monogatari game was released on August 6, 1996 on Super Famicom in Japan, and then a few months later in English on Super Nintendo. And Rune Factory, the first game was released on Nintendo DS 20 years ago in 2006. These are among my favorite series of all time, together with Super Robot Wars, together with some other stuff, Fire Emblem, Super Robot Wars, etc. So like I'm really excited for this, and they made a really cool anniversary site with the covers for all the games. As a reminder, Rune Factory 6 was already announced together with Guardians of Azuma. But for now, only Guardian of Azuma was released, so we should see some news from Rune Factory 6 pretty soon. And also, another interesting thing is, I already talked about this in an article and in some past videos, but Guardian of Azuma, because it's a spin-off of a spin-off in a way, because Rune Factory series, you've got two series. You had the numbered series and the unnumbered series. So in the unnumbered games, the character design is different. But the original character designer of the Rune Factory series is Iwasaki Minako, and she did an illustration for the release of Guardians of Azuma. And in a previous live stream that I translated, the Rune Factory producer is already confirmed that Iwasaki Minako, she's going to do the character design for Rune Factory 6. So even if we haven't seen anything about it yet, we already know that she's going to come back. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is how they also opened up a popularity fan poll for the characters. So there's one with all the characters from Bokujou Monogatari, Story of Seasons, and then you've got one with all the characters from Rune Factory. So when I have the time, inshallah, I'm gonna try to do a video where I'm going through the fan polls to show my votes and to talk about my favorite characters, etc. The votes are open until April 6th, so I still have like 2 weeks to do it. And another interesting thing is they also published some comments. They published these two illustrations as well, commemoration illustrations. So this one is only with Guardians of Azuma characters, because it's the most recent Rune Factory game, and then we've got this one for Bokujou Monogatari. And then they also started publishing comments from the staff, from the developers, to talk about their own favorite characters. So when I have the time, inshallah, I'm gonna try and see if I can translate these short articles, because they're talking about what makes why they like specific characters, etc. So staff comments, skin ID, why do I like this character, etc. So this is a Persha from Rune Factory 3. In English, she was called Pia. I think she's a mermaid. So she's one of my favorite characters. So I definitely want to try and read this and try to translate it for my blog for subscribers or on my coffee. So yeah. And so yeah, like Rune Factory is one of my favorite series, so if you never tried it out, you should definitely try it out. Like I recommend playing all the games, but it's true that the very first one is like kinda bare bones, but like if you wanna see all the story, because each game is standalone, but there's also an overarching story, so if you wanna really understand the story, you should play everything. But like if you think like Rune Factory 1 is too old, personally, I don't really like saying games are too old, because you can just persevere and try to be a little bit patient to learn the mechanics, to learn the controls, etc. But anyway, I'm not gonna be too much of a boomer in this video. So yeah, if you want, you can start with the Rune Factory 3 remaster, which is on every consoles, and then there's a remaster for 4 as well, and then there's 5, which is on all consoles. A lot of people, they say 5 is bad, but personally I think it's still quite a good game. And then there's Guardians of Azuma that just released. But if you played Guardians of Azuma, you should just realize that in a way it's two different series. The Rune Factory numbered games and the Rune Factory unnumbered games like Guardians of Azuma, they have really different mechanics from the usual Rune Factory numbered games. So when Rune Factory 6 get released, it's going to be quite different from Guardians of Azuma, so you shouldn't think that Guardians of Azuma is a good representation of what the series is as a whole. And obviously, I don't mean to say that it's a bad game or I don't like it. I still haven't played it yet, but I think I heard only really good things about it. So yeah, it's kind of like, I'm going to be a little bit boomer again, but like it's kind of sad in a way that Stardew Valley got so popular when they only copied Bokujou Monogatari, Story of Seasons. Like there's nothing that Stardew Valley does, in my opinion, that Rune Factory and Bokujou Monogatari didn't already do first. Sadly, something that is rarely discussed in English, because there's a lot of things that people don't know about the series, because the games used to be censored outside Japan, and there's also how there's a few games that didn't get released outside Japan. So yeah, like I think it's a misunderstood series, and people don't realize just how influential and just how good it is, especially in Factory. So yeah, like I already wrote several articles about it. I'm gonna try to keep doing it and try to make some videos to talk about each characters with the fan poll, because there's a lot of characters I really like in Rune Factory. And the last thing is, for the 20th anniversary, once Rune Factory 6 releases, maybe my biggest guess is I think they're going to try to do a remake of the first one with Raguna. And what would be really cool is if they do a remake of the first one and they mix together the story of Rune Factory Frontier. Rune Factory Frontier was the first spin-off, and it was a direct sequel to Rune Factory 1 with the same protagonist Raguna, and with several returning characters, most notably the main heroine Misto. So yeah, like I'm really looking forward to the anniversary and see. I really hope they're going to do something cool with this. Like this is one of my favorite series ever. So yeah. So the last thing I wanted to talk about, because I don't want to make this too long. So on March 23rd, Good Smile Company announced a brand new Patlabor game. It's called Patlabor The Case Files. It's a 3D action game. It's going to release on console and on PC Steam, PS5 and PC Steam. There's no release date yet, and they released a short trailer and some screenshots as well. So you can see it's 3D action game. And so yeah, this is pretty exciting, but like I'm not expecting big things either, because Good Smile Company, so it's probably a small budget game. And let's check out the trailer. It's running on Unreal Engine, so like maybe when it comes to the characters, it's going to be like a bit weird looking, but we'll see how it goes. But it looks fine enough for what it is, right? And yeah, like PS5 and Steam, and like the official description says, you'll be able to play as a division, as SV2 division, and the rivals with some main missions, and so we'll be able to play as a Griffin as well. There's going to be over 20 playable laborers, and so yeah, and it's recreating some iconic scenes from the TV series and from the OVAs. And most probably, if you look at this, for example, this is from the final Griffin fight, right? With the fireworks. It's a very iconic scene, like everyone knows about it. And like I watched Patlabor over 20 years ago, 25 years ago, so I barely remember things, but I still remember certain scenes, most probably this scene. And it's in this mad video as well. You can see in this mad video. This is a super iconic fireworks scene when with the final battle between Noah and Bedo in the Griffin. So yeah, it's going to recreate some iconic scenes from the TV series and the OVAs. And so yeah, like this is like a typical major mix project, and they're doing this because of the new. Oh yeah, and I wanted to talk about Chime Corporation. Chime Corporation is a developer. They also did the Made in Abyss game a few years ago, and I didn't play it myself, but I heard good things about it, and it was a pretty good adaptation, action RPG. And I watched Kamone, the producer of the Melty Blood series. I watched him play through most of the game. It was pretty interesting. And they did the ReZero visual novel that was released even before as well. So Made in Abyss was like, it was a ambitious game, but not that big either. So Patlabor is a boomer series, like most people don't know about it anymore, so I'm not expecting a big game. And so yeah, and they're doing this because of the new Patlabor that's gonna announce, like Patlabor Easy, that was announced back in 2017. And they finally released a new trailer, and they finally announced a release date. So it's going to be 3 movies. The first movie is going to be in Japanese theaters in 2026 May 15th, and then 2026 August, and then the final movie in 2027 in March. So I assume the game is going to be released between the second and third movie and something like that in like late 2026, right? So yeah, and they published a new trailer, so let's watch this short trailer as well. Oh yeah, Bandai Namco producing the pictures, producing this. This is a sequel. This is a sequel to the TV series. It's set almost 40 years after the TV series and the OVAs. So it's not a sequel to the movies by Oshimamoru, because there have always been 2 timelines for Patlabor, right? When it comes to the anime adaptations, the manga already only had 1 manga by Masami Yuki, and then the anime adaptations they did back 30 years ago, back when they did them, they did two anime adaptations. It was something that was like pretty common back then. And I muted the sound, by the way, because it's Mori Calliope singing, so I assume I'm going to be striked if I play her song, and I don't really want you to listen to her song anyway. So yeah, this is definitely like for a younger audience, like picking Mori Calliope to do the OP, like obviously I'm not the target audience for this, but like the CG looks pretty cool. This cast looks pretty fun as well. The characters look pretty fun as well. So yeah, if you look straight and Mori Calliope, she's the one, the Space and Wolf Life VTuber, very famous in Japan. Yeah. She's American. She's an USA gene, but she's like very famous in Japan as well as the Space and Wolf Live VTuber. So yeah, they decided to pick her to do the theme song. So yeah, and I assume the game will be released sometime when the movies get released. And so what else do I wanted to say? So yeah, we probably get to play as a Griffin. So you've got a first person mode, and you've got a third person mode as well. So it has 2 different modes, and you got some action RPG elements. And I remember there were already many Patlabor game adaptations in the past, like over 30 years ago. There was one on Famicom. There was one on Super Famicom as well. I really liked. Let me see if I can find some screenshots. So yeah, you had this Patlabor game on Super Famicom, which is the one I played as a kid, like over 25 years ago on emulation, obviously. Like it was like action with some turn-based battles, and this was the game I played as a kid. So like, there's already been a lot of Patlabor games. So the new one is kind of similar to that, but it's going to be a live action game instead of turn-based. So yeah, this was the one on Super Famicom, and so yeah, like Patlabor is a very famous series, and like they're trying to revive it with the easy anime and with for a younger audience. It's going to be a sequel to the TV series and the OVAs as well, set almost 40 years later. So maybe some of the older characters will make some cameos, but it's a brand new cast, right? So yeah, like I'm not expecting a big game, but like if you're a fan like me, it's going to be fun probably. Uh, Maybe before watching Easy, I would like to read the manga. Actually, I never read the manga, and I need to also check out maybe rewatch the old anime as well, because I barely remember it, because I never rewatched them in my life. So I only watched them like over 30 years ago now on French TV, and then the movies my siblings downloaded them like 25 years ago. We watched Oshimamoru movies, but I barely remember anything. So yeah, and I want to try and read the original manga as well. Like, I actually never read the original Patlabor manga, so I want to try to actually read it as well. It was released when in 88 to 94, 1904. So I need to try to read it one day. So yeah, and also while we're talking about the author, Masami Yuki Masami, Biology is Mighty, I also never checked it out. I need to check it out one day as well. And one manga he did I really recommend is Jajauma Grooming Up, which is a manga about horse racing and horse raising. And it's kind of Lovina mixed with horse racing and horse raising. And it's also like it's over 20 volumes long, and it becomes like kind of by the end it's like a big commentary on Japanese society and how messed up certain things about Japanese society is. So it's a really really good manga, and it's also one of the very first manga I read all in Japanese, because there's furigana, so it's pretty easy if you know the vocabulary. And I read it like in maybe 2015, 2014 or something. It's like over a bit over 10 years ago. So yeah, I really recommend this manga. So yeah, and that's all for this episode of Fullmetal Fukumi Otaku Talk Show. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe if you can, and please give me your thoughts in your comments, and if you like the video, share it with your own feeds, and check out the coffee on the Ghost site. See you later, bye bye, thanks for watching.